Alright, I'm on the farm today. I got the 1105 Massey, the Krone 2801 CV. We're all serviced, oil's changed, grease checked, grease fitting serviced. We're going to try to cut some hay. First cut of 2023. Alright, here we go. First cut of 2023 underway. I'm in multi-power third gear, low range on the multi-power. I'm in high range. I'll probably kick that up to first gear. Typically what I run is first gear. First gear, high range. Multi-power high. This hay's dry enough. And I mean, it's standing tall. What I got here is a lot of orchard grass and fescue. There's Timothy in here, but it's not quite soon enough to be showing the head. So we're cutting early. We're trying to cut early and just get off the field, get the hay off the field so we can start focusing on second cut. So far so good. Looks like it cutting pretty good. I'm leaving a high stubble. I want the grass to recover, and I'm not sure what today is. It's the weekend before Memorial Day. I forget the days. Of course, if you're a haymaker, you know that anytime you're cutting hay, your nerves are kind of jangled. So I forget what day it is, the exact date. It's just par for the course. I'm staying off the edge of the woods. There's been some limbs that have dropped down. It's really hard to keep up with all the limbs that come in. We have a lot of sweet vernal grass in here, which is kind of a testimony to the pH of our fields that you know, it definitely needs work. Once I make the first round, then I'll kind of check my cut and check the water temperature, oil pressure, all that stuff, kind of keep an eye on that, and then I'll kick it up to a higher gear. Believe it or not, the windows have been washed, but I didn't wash these windows. One of my kids washed them. They're a little streaky. There's a place down in the grass over there where a deer has been. I'm always fearful of a fawn going through this mower. So 2023 hay season underway, and glad to get going. I think we got a good solid week. We're gonna cut 3 days, and then try to bale 3 days. And what I like to do is I like to cut in the evening, which we're out about 4 o'clock, 4:30. I like to cut in the evening, and then I'll let it set all day the next day, and tomorrow evening I'll come in and run the tedder over it. So then I'll let it set a full day without tedding it a second time. And then I'll come through and rake it with my Vermeer tedder rake, and just the mechanical action of that tedder rake throws it in a windrow, but it teds it at the same time, so we kind of get the effect of tedding and raking in one pass. So should have some nice looking hay. And again, we don't want to ted too much, because every time you hit this grass with a tedder, you're going to have you're going to lose some hay to the ground, into the stubble. And the second thing is, this is not the heaviest hay we've ever made, so it doesn't take much for the sun to kind of color it bleach. Let me make my pass up through here on the second pass, and I'll come back. Alright, so just kind of stepping out and checking things over, listening for noises that I don't want to hear. Nice high stubble. I'll kick it up a gear and we'll keep going. Moving right along with the 1105 and the Krone. It's a model 2801 CV. It has impeller tines. This is a great combination. I'm going first gear high range, multi-power high, about 7 miles an hour. I don't really go any faster in this, regardless of how heavy the hay is, because it starts getting pretty bumpy in the cab. And but the Massey is right at ease with this Krone. This is a good combination. Nice big steering wheel on the Massey, power steering. The ergonomics in this tractor and the visibility are excellent. It won't take long to knock this field out. I'll come back. Continuing along here, I got an uncut spot right up there. And what I've started doing here is when I get into a corner where it gets so sharp that it kind of gets out of control, and you're just cutting and weaving and getting the back wheel really close to the bead, going back to the cutter. What I'm doing now is I get to a point where it looks like I'm going to get into difficulties making those corners, and I just cut across. The goal here is to keep that mower, grass flowing under that mower, and not playing a bunch of games with square corners. I'll come back when I get the main part of the field mowed, all of this, I'll come back and deal with the corners, and then of course I'll go back around the opposite direction, make one pass around the perimeter of the outside of the field. Things are going pretty good. The water temperature's looking good, and oil pressure on the Massey. It's a beautiful day to cut hay here in the mountains of Virginia. I'll come back. Still at it here and chipping away at this field. It's coming along pretty good, knock on wood. The Krone is just doing an absolute great job. The hay is not very thick underneath. We got some pretty good stem growth, but our yield will not be very high on this first cut. But we also didn't fertilize, and I'm surprised that the weed pressure is not greater. We didn't spray with herbicides. We're kind of keeping all our firepower, if you will, on fertilizer and herbicides. We want to focus on a second cut. We want to get everything on a second cut and hopefully a third cutting of hay. The thing about these mountains here in Virginia, sometimes in late June on into July and August, it turns real dry, hot and dry. But sometimes we'll just get continuous rain. And so we're early enough in May, I believe, that we can put down some fertilizer and maybe get a decent second cutting around the 4th of July, somewhere in that time frame, and then hopefully take another cut around Labor Day weekend. So we want to try to put the emphasis on some good, clean, high yielding second cut, third cut if we can. I'll come back. All right, so we got a fawn out here. I got to run out of the field. A little thing. Right there it is. I hope I didn't hit it. There it goes. Well, that's good, huh? It bothers me when I run a deer through the Krone, and I've done it. Count to 5. All right, back at it. I'm hoping it's not twins out there. And I was just cutting the corner because they're getting tight down on this corner, and I saw something move. At first I thought it was a cat, but a little baby deer. The surprising thing about it, usually if there's a fawn in the field, there's a doe close by. They'll be out running around like they're trying to, you know, decoy you into coming towards them instead of their little baby deer. But I don't need to be hitting no deer. All right, let me keep going. I'll come back. All right, so we finished this field out here, And we got a black snake down there. We ran a little deer out of the way up here. Knock on wood, the Massey Ferguson 1105 did great. The Krone 2801 CV did a nice job. The yield is not heavy, which, as I mentioned earlier, we expected. But this will dry quickly because it's not a heavy cut. And like I say, tomorrow night we'll ted it, and then we'll let it lay a full day, and then we'll rake and ted at the same time with our Vermeer TR90 and bale the hay. So hope you enjoyed the video. The Massey Ferguson 1105 Krone 2801 CV, first cut, first field of 2023. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and we'll talk to you later.